Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Gigi in the 561. I'm Pam Barker. Thanks for being with me today. I'm Gigi. It's Women's Month. March, the entire month, is Women's Month. I did a little blog piece on northpalmbeachlife.com about a fascinating woman named Penny Davis who spent decades on Broadway behind the scenes, the most important part, in my opinion, of putting on shows, what goes on to make the magic happen. So I hope you'll check that out. Um, but it's also Paris Week. It's Paris Fashion Week right now. And I realized this morning, it's been going on for a few days. It ends tomorrow. It started on the 3rd. It ends tomorrow. That I had been kind of missing what was going on in Paris Fashion Week. So I discovered today that Naomi Watts' 16-year-old daughter is walking the runway. Now, good for her. But I think there's so much given to the children of different ages, both male and female, to the famous, to celebrities, to famous maybe not in entertainment, but in other aspects of life, which takes away from others, perhaps just as deserving, getting at least a shot at doing some of these things like acting and modeling and being a spokesperson for high-end products like perfume and jewelry. But that's just me thinking about being fair and wishing for the opportunities for others to be equal, I suppose. As it's Women's Month, there are so many things I could talk about because I'm very plugged in to many different aspects in the world. But I want to talk about fashion since it's Paris Fashion Week. I want to think about a lesser known designer. Everyone knows Chanel. Who doesn't love Chanel? I certainly do. But I want to talk about someone you don't ever hear about. Not that much. Her name was Louise Boulanger, Boulanger, from Paris. She was born in 1878. And talk about starting young. At the age of 13, she became an apprentice dressmaker. Think about that. I mean, I can barely sew a button on. In 1927, though, she and her husband opened their own salon. And she made clothes that were different. And this is what I found funny, kind of the everything old is new again. She made dresses that were shorter in the front and low in the back. Now, what does that tell you? That's a high-low dress. That style has been popular among women for about 5 years now, really popular. It's waning a bit, but she was very successful with that, and she cut on the bias. And even though I don't sew, I do know what that means. That's a very difficult cut. You cut with the bias in order to make the fabric not move when you're sewing it. She made these fabulous evening dresses, and if you look her up, you can see some of her designs. They could be worn today. They're absolutely stylish, timeless. She used heavy fabrics like taffeta rustles. I had a taffeta outfit as a little girl, and I loved the way it rustled. It was a skirt and a jacket. There's nothing like that. In the 20s, though, she invented, for at the time, she brought out, anyway, the Pouf evening dress. It fits close around the torso to the waist, and then elaborately drapes to a front pleat. If you know, the Pouf dress was really popular in the 80s, 1980s. uh, for prom dresses and young girls going to parties, graduations, things like that. But think about it. All the way back in the 20s, everything old really is new again. Um, at the time when they wrote about Louise, they said she was young. She designed young, modern, fresh, and vigorous designs. And some of the famous people, like Marlene Dietrich, loved to wear her designs because they were striking. They would get you noticed. Not only did she use a heavy fabric like taffeta, it was flowered taffeta or chiffon that was painted. Chiffon, the delicate, to me, chiffon is delicate. Or crepe, the fabric crepe, and that was painted as well. They were innovative and timeless, really. And I think probably some of her designs would be museum quality right now. I need to look that up. But we've never heard of her. You just don't hear her name bandied about. On Sex in the City, oh, it's Chanel this and Chanel that. And again, I too, even though her background during the war, things that happened there, you may have opinion on that, but her designs are timeless. I mean, you can go into stores right now and buy her vintage stuff in consignment stores and wear them anywhere, anytime. Her handbags, her logo, it's timeless. But I just wanted to point out this unknown to me, anyway, designer, less known, I should say. She died in 1950, sadly. So she didn't get to see the swinging 60s and how, because I think she could have been a very prominent designer for that time period. Speaking of timeless, whatever's old is new again, big hair is back. Yes, it's Women's Month and big hair is back. Now, it's been back really for a while. After the pandemic, it started creeping back in. When we were coming out of the pandemic, really stepped onto the scene more in 2024, latter part of 2024, and now it's back. It's on the red carpet. It is on all the runways, just regular people. Big hair is back, and that means you need the tools to go with big hair. Now, I've had big hair. I have big hair. My hair is, I can't keep it. I live where it's humid. It's going to be puffy no matter what I do. But thermal and ceramic, those big rollers, they're back. They're here to puff your hair up. The sleek, straight, maybe not so much right now. People are still wearing that, of course, but you're going to see, especially when you go out, you're going to see more big hair. And like I said, some of us can't fight it. It's just going to happen, and we can't control it. But the different haircuts also are back. Bouffant, and that's really puffy. The shag haircut is back, where it's kind of cut close to the head, the framing of the head, the skull, as it were, where it is, it kind of goes down the side of your face, kind of tousled and layered and some of these are razor cuts, not scissors. They're cut with it's a hair cutting razor. And then it's long in the back, which brings me to men. That's kind of coming back with men, where they're wearing their hair short and then long in the back. That's all of that is coming back. So you need to get those hot rollers. Now, I've kept mine. I still have them, and I was looking up, doing research on them. My hot rollers, Conair, that I bought a long time ago, actually, I still have them. They still work. They still do great. But they're over $100 at Home Depot now. Number one, who knew Home Depot sold Hot rollers. Huh? I mean, what? And that they're over $100. I mean, you can do better. I looked. You can do better. So if you kept your hot rollers, if you're like me and you tend to keep things because you may need them later. Now, here's how it works for me. I keep and keep and keep. Then I throw them away, and then the next week I need it, whatever it was. Doesn't matter. Whatever it was. Oh, really do need that. Fill in the blank. So here's to great women. Here's to unknown fashion designers that were prominent in their own way, but never became a household word. People like my friend Penny Davis, who spent decades on Broadway. Nobody knew her name unless they were famous, and depending on her to make them look great. A wardrobe supervisor does a lot back there for people before they step foot on stage. So I hope you'll read that. You have to read that. That's on a podcast. It's on northpalmbeachlife.com. But I do love honoring women. We have a month. It was kind of really first started in our country by Jimmy Carter, who gave us a day. And then later it became the entire month of March. And I think we need to embrace that. I think we need to lift each other up. I think we need to. Meghan Markle has a kind of a home show where she's cooking and doing stuff on Netflix. And she's taking a lot of harsh comments, criticism for that show. Why do we do that? Let's lift each other up. If you can't say something nice, why say anything at all? Just don't watch the show. But she's just trying to do her show. Why is it necessary? Because you're mad at her for a book that Prince Harry wrote because they came back to this country? Why do you have it in for her in particular? What has she done that brings such really true hate? If you can read the comments, they're very, very unkind. But I think this month and every month, every day, we should remember the strong women in our life. I know I do. I think we need to shout out to those women who've made a difference in our life. Don't be quiet about it. There's a woman in my career, there have been many women that I have stood on their shoulders, whether personally or professionally. I wouldn't have done this thing or that thing if they hadn't done it first, or let me stand on their shoulders for that. But that needs to be acknowledged. Why do we not acknowledge that enough? Why do we not give praise where praise is needed? Let's support strong women. Let's support women who need help. Let's support women just because it's kind and it's the thing to do, and give credit where credit's due in our lives. I try to do that. I have different women that have made a difference in my life, and they know it. I give credit to them, and I give credit publicly to them. My friend Barbara gave me so much knowledge about the media industry. She told me more. I would never know as much as she had forgotten. But and she's passed away now, but before she did, I let her know, and I let everybody know. Because of her, I could do what I did better. I could do it, but I could do it better because of her. So Women's Month, every day, let's try to support each other. Let's try our best to be kind. And if we can't be, let's be silent. Thank you so much for being here. This podcast always rests on northpalmbeachlife.com. Facebook is being a little funky about the links being posted now on Facebook, but they are on 20 platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, and always they rest on northpalmbeachlife.com. My producer, Gary, Gerry Barker, writes for, produces, executes, does everything for our website, northpalmbeachlife.com. He's a great writer, but he posts a lot of things for a lot of other people. He is supporting community through our website. That's how it's done. That's how you lift each other up and how you support each other in the world. Just, you may not get anything out of it. You may not get recognized. Probably won't. That's okay. But to do it yourself, that's important. He writes, he's a great writer, and he writes for Splash Magazine Worldwide, Aqua Magazine, which has a print version and an online version, and All Things Cruise, Gerry, pronounced Gary. Please visit our YouTube channel, northpalmbeachlife.com. Gary posts a lot of stuff there, videos, pictures. Sometimes this podcast, you'll find it there if I'm not mistaken. He takes care of all of pushing these out. If you go to our website and you're trying to find something, use our search box. It's easy to find. And if you can't find something, let me know and I'll help you. I have a new blog on there called Gigi's Wine Shelf. Shelf, because I don't have a wine cellar. I would not be that pretentious to say. I pretty much talk about lower price but good wines, $10 to $13. If you want to be featured on there, I can send you some questions. You can tell me about your wine. You don't even have to talk to me. It can be done by email. You can tell me all about why you love your favorite wine. Doesn't have to be low end like mine. I love good champagne. The more expensive, the better. That's not really true. Veuve Clicquot, Moet and Chandon, those are mine. Right there, mid-range, $45, $40 champagne. But these blog entries are pretty much right between $10 and $15 roughly, right there. I think my next one will be a Sauvignon Blanc from Sonoma, but it may not. I may do a sangria, which is not something I drink all the time, but I may talk about it because Gary actually likes it, and I may get him to join me on that. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I have two others. I have Travel Bistro is also a podcast that I do. I need to update that, actually. It's been a while, so I need to do that. I have two podcasts, Gigi and the 561 and Travel Bistro, and now my new blog called Gigi's Wine Shelf. Let's keep it unpretentious in life, shall we? Let's lift each other up every day. Happy Women's Month to all the incredible women out there, those I know, those I don't know, those I'd love to know sometime. Thank you so much for being with me today. At Gigi and the 561, I'm Pam Barker. I'm Gigi. Stay with me.